James the Red Engine was delighted. It was early September, and the Fat Controller had given him the express to add some variety to the timetable. Of course, James had just assumed that the Fat Controller was rewarding him after a full summer of goods trains and light passenger work. Pulling the express had given the number 5 engine a massive ego boost, much to the others' dismay. One night in the sheds, James was bragging to the other sleepy engines. The passengers all kept saying how splendid my paintwork looked today. They even commented on how much faster I am pulling the coaches. Some of them called me a red rocket. There was silence until Henry murmured to Gordon, "Oh, I wish he would just blast off already and let us sleep." James snorted and scowled at Henry. "At least the passengers don't have to worry about me stopping in a tunnel or coming off the rails like some engines do." Henry was about to make a comment on bootlaces or hills until Gordon interjected. "Oh, would you quiet down already, James? You won't be pulling the express for much longer. Soon it will be Boco's turn, and then finally I shall have my express return." "Boco?" hissed James. "That branch line diesel that works with those dirty twins will be taking the express?" Boco, who was usually a very passive and quiet engine, had lost patience. "Careful, James. I'd hate for another bee to sting you and make you look like a clown again." The sheds erupted with laughter from engines big and small, and James broodingly fell asleep. The next morning, the Fat Controller came to speak to James. "Good morning, James. I hope you've slept well, as there's a busy day ahead of you." "Of course, sir. Is the express waiting for me at the station?" Sir Topham's charming smile fell to a frown. "Well, James, I wanted to speak with you about the express. As you know, autumn is approaching, and I'm sure you're aware how the weather impacts trains on the island." James winced, remembering a close encounter he had with a tree during an autumn storm. The Fat Controller continued. "To make the most of the dry weather, I ordered 3 more coaches to be added to the express, to carry more passengers and increase the efficiency of the service." "Oh, what a marvellous idea, sir! Now even more passengers can see how splendidly I pull the express." Sir Topham Hatt was about to give James a well thought out response until Gordon thundered by, laughing with the express in tow. "I have, another important job in mind for you, James," said the Fat Controller gently. "What would that be, sir?" James gritted through his teeth. James had been ordered to go work on Edward's branch line, hauling china clay trucks for a large ship waiting at the docks. "Goods trains," huffed James, as his fireman was fulfilling his tender at the water tower. "Come on, James," he encouraged his driver. "Bill and Ben have the first delivery waiting at the station siding." The station master had agreed with the china clay manager that the twins would haul the trucks to Willsworth, and James would collect the train and deliver it to the docks to save time. Bill and Ben were thrilled to see the red engine. They knew they could have some fun with him. "Look, Bill!" shrieked Ben. "The red rocket has landed at the station." "More like the rusted rocket," giggled Bill, as James let off steam rudely. "Listen here, you 2 demons. Don't expect me to come save both of you when you inevitably crash into one another. Ask Boco or Edward to do it." The twins giggled and steamed away as James coupled up to the train and flounced away. By the end of the afternoon, James was exhausted, but the job was only half finished. "Oh, bother," he huffed. Just then, a porter ran up to James's cab. "Bad weather is on the way. The ship wants to leave in the next hour." "But the delivery hasn't been finished," argued the driver. "That's what I told the captain. But you know what sea folk are like," replied the porter, rolling his eyes. "Right," said the driver. "You phone the China Clay manager to tell the twins to bring more trucks. We will finish this delivery and show that captain how fast our James is." James had no strength left to argue, and said nothing. "We could have the twins help push behind James for some support up Gordon's Hill," commented the fireman. They were all in agreement, except James, of course. Later, as James was building up steam for the long haul, he heard a long, sad-sounding whistle, followed by a loud, puffing noise. "What is that?" eyed James. It was Ben's whistle, as he crept into the station at a snail's pace, not only hauling the giant line of trucks, but a very sick-looking bill. "Well, well, well," chuckled James, "it's Tweedledum and Tweedledee." Ben was just about to reply, when suddenly his safety valve burst. The poor tank engine was cloaked in his own steam. "Bother!" shouted the twins, as their drivers ran over to James's crew. A shipment of bad coal clogged Bill's tubes, so Ben decided to try and finish by himself. And look how that turned out! James began to laugh maniacally. "This is bad news for us, James," interrupted his driver. "Now we have to tackle Gordon's Hill on our own." The red engine scoffed. "Pah! We never needed them anyway." James backed the twins into the siding and coupled up to the mega train. "Watch the red rocket take off, Bugs!" With much slipping and wheels screeching, James got the train moving. "Show off," mumbled Ben to Bill. It was hard going at first, but soon James had got the trucks up to a good speed. Come along," he shouted to the trucks. "Steady, James," cautioned his driver. "We need to save your steam for the hill." They approached the bottom of the hill, and James began to give it his all. The weight of the trucks pulled them back, but James wouldn't give up. "I can do it! I can do it!" he cheered, as the screaming trucks hauled behind him. At last, James reached the top and shot forward in excitement. "That will show those demons who's—" James then remembered something rather important. "Oh no! Stop! Stop!" he called to his driver. "We forgot to pin down the brakes!" James's driver applied the brakes, but it was too late. The trucks slammed into one another and pushed James down the hill at a terrifying speed. The guard tightened the handle in his brake van, but it wasn't strong enough to control the truck. "Yikes! Help! Help!" whistled James as he careened down the line, his brakes screeching all the way. A sleepy signalman saw James out of control and panicked, frantically changing the points on the main line. "Oh no!" cried James as he swerved into the runaway siding and smashed right through the buffers. China clay flew everywhere, most of it landing on James. "Yuck!" spat James. His crew and guard had jumped into the safety of some bushes, but James and some of his trucks had come off the rails. The other trucks had derailed on the main line, spilling their loads on the tracks. "Oh my!" surveyed the signalman, who quickly set all signals to danger as it began to rain. "Oh, this couldn't get any worse," sighed James, who now had sticky, slimy china clay clinging to his paintwork. James, is that you, my dear engine? James glanced over and gasped. It was Gordon with the express. He had been flagged down by the signalman. Oh, hello, Gordon. How are you finding the extra coaches? Asked James, faking a smile as Gordon stared at the wreckage. With the signalman's permission, Gordon was allowed to leave the scene of the disaster. As Boko took what was left of the delivery to the docks, and Edward helped clean the mess, taking James back to the yard. I'm sorry I was so horrid to you two, faltered James. Looks like it was me who needed saving from Edward and Boko. You two worked very hard today. The twins smiled at each other. It's alright. We know we rile you mainline engines up, and we're sorry we teased you, they chuckled. Just then, Edward backed into the shed. Well, James, he smiled, do you think you'll become a permanent China clay engine? No, thank you, smirked James. Pulling China clay is the pits. There was a cheerful chuckle from engines big and small.